everybody. Welcome to another episode of Crafting with Christina for two scrapbook friends. Today, we're doing something super fun. We're gonna make a Father's Day card. Actually, you can use this for a birthday card. You can change up these sentiments and make it whatever you want. But I just want to show you the basics of the card and show you this amazing 3D embossing folder. So this is the card we're going to be making today. So I'm just calling it Father's Day card. We are using the Tim Holtz, and it's the 3D Texture Fades embossing folder. And the one that I'm using today is called, if you look at the back, it's called Mechanics. So it actually has all the gears and everything on here. So it's a super thick embossing folder, and because it does everything 3D. So I'm not sure if you can see that. Hopefully you can see all the texture, the 3D, how amazing this card background looks. So that's what we're basing on today. And then the sentiments and everything I'm actually using from Photoplay, Say It With Stamps. I'm using it's called the Mom and Dad Sentiments. I'll have to put it on the back here so you can see it without a big glare on it. So it's the Mom and Dad Sentiments, and we're using the Dad one today. And a couple of these other little pieces on here. But if you have anything else and you want to make it into like a birthday card or any random card, you can definitely do that. So again, it's our normal standard card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's the finished size. You're going to need some score tape and some glue, because you want to glue some of this stuff down as well too. The 110 pound Nina white cardstock, that is for what we always use for the card base. It's just a very nice thick cardstock. And your Tim Holtz, what I'm using is the Tim Holtz. It's a 6x9 craft cardstock, and it's in the neutral color. So you actually get 3 of each of these 8 colors. So I've used some of them already, but they come in this size here. And then they all have a craft back. So as you can see, that's how I get that really neat look on there, because you actually sand it and it has this craft background, but it has all these different colors in here, and they're all 6x9 sheets. So you can choose whatever color, but I used, mine are all from the neutral pack. You're also going to need some craft paper if you choose to, but like for the background here, you can also just grab another sheet out of your craft stock there as well too. It's fine. I'm just using a standard piece of craft because it matches really nice with that. You just need some black paper, any black ink, because we're just going to be stamping out the sentiments on here. A MISTI or any tool just to do your stamping. You definitely need a die cutting machine. I use the Gemini Junior, but you need a die cutting machine to put your embossing folder through. You're actually going to need a water sprayer. You don't have to, but it's really nice to use the sprayer when you do the 3D embossing. It makes it stand out. It makes your paper not rip if you're just going to put it through, but we'll go through that. And then, of course, I forgot to type it on here, but you're also going to need just a sanding block. Any type of sanding block just to get through this. So anyways, you're going to see how that works. So we're just going to start here. So first things first, you're going to want to do your card base. So it's a standard, your 110 pound Nina white cardstock comes in 8 1/2 by 11. So all you're going to do is you're going to slice it in half. And now you have 2 card bases. So once you have that, you're just going to fold your card in half here. Make your little embossing line, and then you're going to just take your bone folder, go over top of it, and now you have your card base. Second thing you're going to want to do is just whatever you're going to do, you're going to grab your black piece of paper if you want that outline here. And you're going to, I've already previously done this, but you're going to be cut this down to your standard card size. So you're just going to get a piece of black paper, cut it down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And actually, once you have that, put score tape on the back of it, or glue, or whatever you want to do. You can definitely do either or. I just realized I moved my phone there, sorry. And then I'm going to use my tweezers, and I'm just going to get my whole card base ready to go. Okay. So now all you're going to do is, if you watched my videos before, I like to... if you watch Christy's videos, she actually has a great idea with putting it up against a ruler and stuff to do it. but I'm lazy. So I'm just gonna put it up into the top corner. And then again, you have a little bit of movement here. So I like to just move it so I know it's exactly even with the bottom, and then push it across. And now I have my card base done. So this is ready to go. And I'm just gonna put this off to the side. So the next piece you wanna do, and I've already cut some of these out because they're so cool looking. So can you see the difference? This is why I say you wanna have a sanding block, because this is just the embossing folder through the machine, but this is how cool it looks when you actually sand it up. So that's what we're gonna do. So what you wanna do now is grab, if you're gonna be using this craft stock, and again, if you want that look of the sanding, I would highly recommend getting this because it has the card, or any type of paper that you can sand and have the card stock, the craft stock through the back. So because it comes in the 4x9, all you're gonna do is you're gonna take this piece, I've already cut one out because I've already done one, and you're just gonna slice it in half. So now you've got your half, because it's a little bit bigger than what you need for your card base, so you can still cut it down. So now the trick to doing the 3D, to make it a little bit more, like, you don't want to be able to put it through and then it actually rips your paper. What I would recommend, and if you look at the Tim Holtz videos as well too, I would recommend doing it on thicker paper. If you're going to do it on a really thin paper, it might tear with the 3D stuff. So I would recommend, again, play around with it, do whatever and see what works. If you have a cheap piece and you think it's going to be fine, then it's probably fine. But the thicker of the material here, the better. So you can use your 80 pound, you can do your 110 pound, whatever you choose to. But I really like this. It goes beautifully with this neutral, or any of these packages. There's a couple different colors as well too. As I said, I'm just using the neutral one here. I like the colors in there. So what you want to do, I'm going to put this off to the side here. You're going to grab your sprayer. It doesn't have to be this one, but whatever you're going to use. I'm using the Distress Sprayer from Ranger, and I have purple tape on my hand. And what you're going to do is you're going to give it like 1, 2, just 3 spritzes. 3 little spritzes. You can do 2, whatever. It just makes your paper a little bit more pliable. And now you don't have to worry about it when you put it through, and it doesn't matter if there's water on it. When you put it through the machine, you don't have to worry about it ripping or anything, because it just gives it a little bit more of a pliable paper. So your next piece you need to do, and here is what the folder looks like. And as I said, it's super, super thick. And when you open it up, like, you can emboss and deboss. So you've got all these really cool looks to it. But I know this is the front, and I want this to emboss it like this because it says Sizzix. You can read it all in here. So now I'm going to stick this piece of paper in here. Okay. Just make sure that you can see top and bottom. You're going to be cutting a lot of this off, so it's not really a big deal anyways. So now that it's all nice and damp, you're going to stick your piece of paper and sandwich it in between your embossing folder. So next thing, what you want to do, I'm going to move this off to the side because I'm going to bring my Gemini on here. Okay, you're going to pull out whatever machine, and this is where you're going to have to play around with a little bit, because you're not going to be able to use your same plates that you normally do for an embossing folder, because these are much thicker. So like if you're using a Big Shot or something else, you're going to have to, it probably has instructions on what to do with 3D, and I'm not really sure because I don't use the Big Shot. But I found that with a Gemini, if you're using the Gemini, I'm using one of my regular like base plates, putting that on there, and then I actually use my my magnetic mat on top. And I found that this actually is a really great combination to put it through. It doesn't get stuck, because I tried using my plastic shim, and that's just a little bit too thick and it will not go through the machine. Now when you're doing 3D, you can just do one, but if you do a couple times through it, I say 2, even 3, then you know you're getting the really good 3D effect. So we're going to put it through 3 times today, just to make sure that it's really gotten into that paper. And now we're going to pull this out. Move this off to the side here. Pull apart my pieces. And pull this out. And how super cool is this 3D embossing folder? It is absolutely amazing. Now, if there's a little bit of water or anything still left on here, let it dry a little bit before you start sanding it. Mine's really not too bad, but I did this one earlier just to be sure. So make sure it's nice and dry. So all you're gonna do now is you're just gonna grab your sanding, whatever sanding block you have, and all you're gonna do is just go back and forth over your piece here. Now, can you see the difference between the top and the bottom? So this is just still your same standard brown. And now you've embossed, and now because of that craft behind it, it's bringing out all that nice craft cardstock behind it. So now you sand it as much or as little as you want. I just think this is so amazing. Oops. Okay, so now that I know I've got my, if you can see all the dust coming out of there, all the paper dust. So now you have your background ready to go. So even right now, you can actually attach it to your cardstock. So if you look at the one that I did earlier, again, I cut it down. I didn't use any dies because I didn't want to put a die cut through here and smush, like if I usually use my, my stitched rectangle to do the outline of my cards, but I also wanted this one a little bit smaller, and I didn't want to put it back through the die, back through my Gemini, because I think it's going to take away this 3D effect that we have going here. So all you want to do is you just want to grab your cutting, whatever you're using to cut now, and now we want to cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. So I've already cut some off the edge here. So I'm going to go 4 inches here, and then you choose where you want to cut it. So you want to go 5 1/4. If you like where that's going to cut, that's where you cut it. Now you are going to have, because if you look at the back where it's debossed, you are going to have some up and some down kind of idea. But if you use score tape around the edges to put that down, then it's not going to move. It's going to be perfectly fine. So I'm going to put score tape along the whole back edge here. If I can find where it starts. Okay. And then I'm going to use my tweezers. Kind of push those down so at least you know it's in a lot of the spots, because I said it won't pick up everything because it's because of the 3D, but it picks up a good enough chunk that you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so now you have your card here ready, and you're just going to center it onto your background and just push it down. And now you've got your card base all ready to go. So the rest we have to do, so we've got your 3D embossing folders done. So now you're going to grab your MISTI. Actually, I think we'll do the dad thing first, because so when you get these say it was stamps. They come with all these sentiments, the stamp. They also come with dies. So I didn't actually stamp the dad. You can choose that. You can choose to stamp the dad instead and do it on the craft and then pull it out if you want. But what I did is, again, here's where I took a piece of the craft. Okay, and then I also took a piece of black paper, which I have off to the side here somewhere. I'm actually going to cut these down so that I can put it through my Gemini both at the same time. So I'm just going to take a slice off there, and then I'm going to take a slice off here. So now I have 2 smaller pieces. Okay, I'm going to move this off to the side, and now I'm going to get my plates. Because now you're going to go back to your standard plates that we normally use. Get rid of this. So I'm going to put, I know that I want the dad, not the background, but the actual dad part out of black. So I'm going to put that on top here. And then I'm going to put the background piece of my, I already have the back, so make sure you do it on the right side. Always check, because if I don't take the barcode off, I've done that before where I've done it out, I've put it through my machine and I have parts barcode on there. Okay, so now you get ready to go with this. And again, I'm going to grab my Gemini back through here. Make sure everything's on there. Okay, stick that through my machine. And now we're good to go for that. So now you're just going to pull these things apart. Pull these out. Just going to put these off here for now. Oh, the dad's still in here. So you're going to take your little pokey tool. And you're just going to take the dad part out there. So this is how I did this. And put those off to the side. And now you're just going to grab some glue. And you're going to glue the dad onto like the background piece. I fill up a glue tube. I really like how this is such a small tip. When you're doing small things like this, I would also grab my tweezers if I can find them. That would be better. Okay, so then I like to just put a little bit of glue down here along the edges here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but so long as there's enough glue for it to stay down, you're all good. Okay. Put that down on here. And now you can actually use the same glue, or if you have Lawn Fawn glue, whatever. You don't have to be as particular with this because it's a lot bigger. So now you're just going to stick that down in the center of your card. And that's all good to go. And now we just have the sentiments left to do. So now is when you need to grab your Misty or whatever stamping tool you've got. I'm using the Misty. And then I'm using the rest of that craft cardstock that I had. And then you can pick and choose your pieces, but I'm going to do the same one. So I'm going to grab You Deserve, You Are the Best. And if they would not stick to my finger, that would really be a great idea. And You Deserve a Day. I'm going to put that a little bit higher up here. Put my magnets down. And then you can use any black ink on here. I'm just grabbing my Pink Fresh because I haven't used this a whole lot. It's kind of a newer one. And I'm just going to do that twice just so that I know it's nice and dark. Okay. Now take my chamois and clean this off because you don't want to lose these because these are small. But I absolutely love all these. I have so many of these Say It With Stamps by Photoplay because you can mix and match all the sayings on here as well too with the other ones, and you can make so many cards. These to me are an absolute must-have when as a card maker. I think they're quite fantastic. Okay, so then you also, you have to buy these separately, but you need to, these ones work great with all the Say It With Stamps, the sentiments. And then you can kind of fit whatever ones you want. So I know that one's going to fit on there nice. And I like to put a piece of purple tape definitely down on here because you don't want it to move when you're putting it through your machine. Okay, so I'm going to put a piece of purple tape down here. And then this looks about the right size for this one. Okay. Now you're going to put this, flip this onto your magnetic sheet. And you are going to grab, again, whatever die cutting machine you're using. Stick these through. And then we'll take these out and I'll show you. I take my purple tape off this one, but you see what I mean? Like they are perfectly, they fit the sentiments just amazing on here. That's why these are, of course, are made to go with these Say It With Stamps here. But as I said, they're sold separately because you just buy those once and they work with all the Say It With Stamp, those sentiments ones. Okay, so all you have left to do is put it together. So You Deserve a Day. And I would probably, you can do glue, or I actually have super thin score tape. because then you don't have to worry about it. So glue or score tape, whatever you want to use, is totally fine. They really don't want to come off here. Okay. And then you just got to take the backing off the score tape. And I was gonna say I would use my tweezers, but I'm not quite sure where I put them, but I found them. Okay, so then you're just going to choose wherever you want to put these down. And as I said, if you're using glue, make sure you go across the whole thing, because again, there's a divot in some of these, right? Because it's the 3D. So you never really know where it's going to pick up tape and where it's not. And once you put that down, you've got yourself an amazing birthday card, Father's Day card, whatever you decided to do with your card. But you've got this really cool 3D embossed look, and it's all sanded down, and it gives it a great look. Such a great idea, because it's so hard to do masculine cards. Where you get into these, they're absolutely fantastic. So anyways, hope you guys learned something a little bit new, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.